of Development, Bryan Harris, with us, of the ARC of the Piedmont, Director of Development and Communications. His organization, the ARC of the Piedmont, we formed a strategic partnership and helped raise $500 in one evening through our conscious capitalism approach. Bryan, the ARC of the Piedmont really getting a lot of awareness in the Central Virginia community. Talk to us a little bit about the mission and then some of the challenges and success stories and tribulations you guys face at the ARC of the Piedmont.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jerry, for having me. I appreciate it. And one of the biggest things for the ARC of the Piedmont is our history. We've been here for over 60 years now. And we were actually started by a couple families in the community needing more resources for their children and or their adult children that had intellectual and developmental disabilities. The ARC is a national organization, but every chapter, like the ARC of the Piedmont, is its own chapter. So we have our own operating budget, so all of our own expenses and revenue coming in, separate 501c3, everything like that. This time right now is a very important time, not only for the ARC, for our clients, for the general mental health population, with the healthcare bill, being talked about, with Medicaid mainly, the top topic, if you want to say.
Sure.
So, we are a charity that obviously wants to receive as many donations as possible.
Sure.
But like you were saying earlier, the ARC itself, the ARC of the Piedmont, not many people know who we are, what we do, or why we do what we do. And so that's been a lot of what my job has been, is getting us out into the community, educating everyone, the general public, on what these folks are doing.
You know what the interesting aspect, I think, of working with nonprofits, and we love working with nonprofits because, as you know, we have this, conscious capitalism mindset where we want to create these for-profit endeavors that have this charitable component to it, like we did with the Duel Chef Showdown. But the challenges you guys are facing as a charity are the same challenges that, our for-profit business owners and business clients are facing. You guys need awareness. You guys need the brand awareness, because the brand awareness and the for-profit sector is going to drive incremental revenue, and the brand awareness in the nonprofit sector is going to drive the donations. And we were talking, kind of off camera. My first interaction with the ARC of the Piedmont was a partnership, an event that you put together that was incredibly successful, which was the bocce ball tournament at Cardinal Hall in Midtown Charlottesville. You guys crushed it there.
Yeah.
And I actually found out about that because I like to drink cold beer. I found out about that while using the restroom, and I saw a flyer to drive awareness for the ARC of the Piedmont, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And then Jaclynn Dunkle, who owns the restaurants downtown, Tin Whistle, Fellini's, Salad Maker, she said, I believe in this mission. And I want to help the ARC out. Let's make them the partner of the Duel Chef Showdown. I'm like, okay. And then that was the second way. So I guess, where I'm going with this is maybe we can talk about how, my organization can help the ARC potentially, and some of the challenges you're facing. It seems like the brand awareness is paramount and is a top priority for you. From the social media space, from getting the stories and the success stories and the big donations and the big events that you've had on the 6, the 10, 11 o'clock news, the radio positioning, creating a vlog, kind of what we're doing here can have a tremendous impact for the ARC. So I guess maybe we'll start there. What are some of the challenges as Director of Development and Communication that you're seeing that you'd like to overcome?
A big portion of our awareness will come from these events, and that's why I keep on hosting these fundraising events.
So you see the live events as a way to touch the potential donor. You see the live events as a way to further the equity relationship, further that personal relationship with your board and your current donors, and to kind of do what we call a proof of performance. Look, hey, this is what we're doing. Your donation dollars are being put into effect this way, and it's having this impact here. So it's kind of a live events, experiential marketing type of approach, a boots on the streets type of approach, and I think that's a killer idea. I think you will, you will further the mission that way. But I think the drawback potentially of that idea, not drawback, that's not the right word, but one of the challenges of going that approach is it requires a tremendous amount of sweat equity to put on these events.
Yes.
And a tremendous amount of your time, which is your most valuable commodity, and your resources. What are ways that, potentially you guys can inject, a steroid brand awareness injection into the ARC? Besides live events concept, I gotta think that's the social play, right? The social media?
Yeah. Our Facebook is now over 600 followers. The more fans or engagement that you have, the more your posts will be seen.
Totally.
Things like that. And so, and that's a free way of supporting a cause.
Not only a free way, but you own the platform. You own your page. Unlike doing advertising with the radio, TV, with print. You're not going to own the network, the ads. With your page, you can keep this community in perpetuity and continue to position call to action messages in front of the community moving forward. So really growing that community and getting the numbers higher is extremely important. I think some tips that I would do and the tips that we've done for our clients and our businesses is I think you could tell the story and the mission through the eyes of the folks that are coming to the ARC. Video testimonials, a vlog like we're doing now. Perhaps you have contests where, like the Jaclynn Dunkles of the world are donating, the spaghetti dinners for the event that you're having coming up. Perhaps what you could do is you can get the folks donating, say, 2 free meals at a fantastic restaurant. Let's have a viral strategy contest on the ARC Facebook page where it's like you create the post saying here are 2 free meals to Fellini's number 9, or a family of 4 can have meals on the house courtesy of the ARC and Fellini's number 9. Here's what you do: you got to like the post, and then you got to share the post on your personal Facebook page. And if you like the post and share the post, then the ARC brand is positioned in front of these people's Facebook communities, and you're creating a bunch of micro effects, the micro ecosystem. But if you have a bunch of people doing something at the micro level, then you have this macro impact, and then the ARC brand is out there. That literally would be free. And I think that would have a larger reach than potentially some of the radio and TV positioning that you're doing. I think having potentially a daily blog, where in the daily blog you're originating and creating content where you're like, this is what we did today. This is the new building we're pursuing. This is the huge donation we got. This is what Tom or Jane experienced at the ARC, and it really took us back. And you do that from a content standpoint, and it doesn't have to be long, where you're writing 5, 6, 7 paragraphs tops, and then in the story you're taking the video that you're taking with these are amazing, the content that they create. You're taking the video, you're positioning it atop the story, and then you're taking the link that's on your website, and you're taking that link and you're syndicating it across your Facebook community, your Instagram community, your Twitter account. And then on top of that, you're then taking that link and you're building it into your maybe daily or every other day newsletter. And that email newsletter goes out. Even if your open rate with your e-newsletter is 25-30%, and industry average on e-newsletter open rates is like 18%. So even if you're getting that out there, people are still seeing the subject line from the ARC in their inbox, and you're touching people from a subconscious standpoint. And as an advertising guy, you want to touch people 7 times. If you're able to touch people 7 times with your mission and your brand and what your business or your nonprofit's about, then that's going to be burnt into someone's subconscious. So I think you guys are crushing it. I love, I've certainly seen, since you've been brought on to the organization, I've seen that the ARC has been out in the community more, and I've seen that you have done it because you're a young guy. You have done it in a way where you're reaching a younger demographic, and your concept of doing the bocce ball tournament at Cardinal Hall was freaking awesome, because I think Cardinal Hall gets a ton of people there, and craft beer is huge and booming in Charlottesville, and getting in front of that 25 to 45 demographic is the donor of today, the demographic that's birthing children into the world, and it's also the donor potentially of tomorrow. And that's critical, I would think. So where I'm going is just create as much content as possible, and most of that stuff can just be documented with your iPhone, your smartphone that you have there on the desk. I don't know, that's how I see it.
Yeah. No, and so the Santa Run, that is probably our most popular event. I've grown that in the last 2 to 3 years. Last year we just had 550 people dressed up as Santa, running and or walking the downtown mall. So it's just a lot of fun.
So, before, we talk about, your ideas of how we could potentially, help you guys. A couple of ideas that I just had in conversation is, with your website and your Facebook page, you can integrate a donate now button. A very clear call to action on the Facebook page where you just have donate now and people can interact through the platform where they don't even need to click over to the website. I think a lot of times people aren't willing to click over because they're so immersed in the news feed, they're so immersed in the Facebook or social platform. So that's one thing I would do.
Okay.
I would definitely have the viral contest where you're saying like this post and share this post to double your chances.
That's excellent.
That immediately will uptick your Facebook community from 600. I think a goal would be for by the end of the year to maybe reach 3,000 people from a Facebook community. A metric that's extremely important in the for-profit business that I'm sure would scale over to the nonprofit world is every like that you have on your Facebook page often is translating into $10 of revenue per year. So having a Facebook page like say like a beer run that is absolutely through the roof. I think they're driving a lot of revenue just through their Facebook community alone. But last question for you is how can we help? How can we help the ARC? What can we do to, further a strategic partnership with you? What can we do?
Yeah, helping us partner more with the community is a big thing. Like we've said throughout this conversation that, not many people know who we are. And so, yes, I'm out in the streets, talking to, thousands of people, but those other thousands of people that I don't talk to, how are they finding out about, I'm only one person, I can only reach so many people.
Totally, right.
A good friend of mine, Jeff Schaefer, he owns Moxbox.
Sure.
He's done a couple of our events for us because he's just an
Is it the photo booths?
Yeah, the photo booths.
Yeah.
And he put our Santa Run actually out on his page and shared it. And I mean, he's got just as many, if not more, followers than Beer Run. I mean, it's, and we got so much more from that just for giving him a couple $100 to do our event.
Sure.
Because those are people that we have not been able to reach out to
Totally.
or whatever. And usually, like when I go into these companies, I'll talk to the one person, whether it's the HR person or the activities person or whatever.
Human resources and communications.
Yeah. And they can only put it out there. They can't really make anybody do anything.
Right.
And so, how many people are actually hearing from us or not hearing from us? One of our partners, Custom Ink, they brought out 50 plus people out to our Santa Run last year.
Cool.
And it was all about their activity club, if you want to say, was saying, hey, the Santa Run, we got to do it. It's a fun thing or whatever. Well, they ended up having a fundraiser before it, just a simple grilled cheese tomato soup thing, $5 for each during lunchtime. They raised over $1,000 for us.
That's awesome.
In one day.
And their organization is humongous.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And so one of my biggest things to whether it's a bank of 2 or 3 people versus a Custom Ink that is thousands of people. 2 people can raise just as much money as 1,000.
Totally.
And so that's another thing that I really want to kind of push out there, that don't think that you can't do something when it comes to volunteering or donating or whatever. There's so many opportunities, and I would love to sit down with different people, have coffee with them, lunch with them, whatever, and talk about that thing. But a lot of times it's that introduction or that next step or that first step that somebody has to take to be able to support this great cause.
Cool. Yeah. So awareness, we can certainly help with awareness. I want to do, and we'll do this in team meeting this week with the gang. I want to do kind of a strategic event, a partnership with the ARC. fits the conscious capitalism mission. That's our mission here, is we have to make money to keep the team employed and to keep us going, but we can figure out ways to make money where we can tie organizations like yours to it. So maybe we do something, whether it's like a restaurant week type concept, a shopping month type concept, a whole makeover project, a Duel Chef Showdown, a Get Healthy Charlottesville, where we're featuring a lot of the health clients that we have in that category in a month-long endeavor. We will do a partnership with you. Any kind of branding, advertising, advice, counsel. We're happy to do that with you. I'm excited.